Hi guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night whenever you're watching this. It is Monday morning for me. I don't really know the date, maybe the 11th or something, the 12th. I don't know. I lose track of the dates in the summer, especially when we're not doing homeschool. So, hope everybody had a good weekend. I didn't do a floss tube on Friday. We had, I was just really tired. I kind of hurt my back. And everything I do is like extra hard right now, and I was really tired. And we had a play date on Thursday. And it's been, excuse me, I'm sorry for coughing in your ear. Okay, first of all, let me stop and tell you guys what I'm doing, just in case it's your first time. I'm stitching on Went to Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais with that needle and thread, and I think it was yesterday, no, it wasn't yesterday, it must have been Saturday that I decided to work on this a good bit. So I finished the side border. I got my male cardinal in and the flowers that it's on, and I started on the basket up here. So I got a lot done. I'm really feeling motivated with this right now because I'm so close to getting it done. Well, you know, close is a relative term. A lot closer than what I was before. So I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and it really got me excited. So I spent a good amount of time, excuse me, I spent a good amount of time working on this, and I really enjoyed it. So, but I saved the fill-in for y'all, because that's the place I'm least likely to mess up while I'm talking. I don't know what I'm going to do when I finish this, and I have to pick another project to do. Well, I'm going to choose a project that I want to stitch 25/7, and like I said before, I have no idea. The only possible thing that I have right now is my Santa's Village, because I am just not getting that done, and I love it, and I need to work on it. So that may be what I do after this, which would also be appropriate because it would lead into the Christmas season. But I'm not 100% set on that, because I kind of like the idea of working on a more sampler type project 25 minutes a day. And I have a Hands Across the Sea sampler, Tom's Foolery, which is a fun little sampler that I haven't started yet. So I don't know. We'll see. But today we're going to be working on some snow. Some cream colored snow, because, you know, we all like that yellow snow, don't we? I see all these people, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch was showing her Went to Rose Manor on her last episode, which I'm about halfway through, and she had chosen a bright white, or, you know, a more white color, and I'm like, oh. But you know what? Yes, it looks good, but I think mine looks good too. I make a joke about the yellow snow, but overall, the completed look, it does look pretty. So I need to, you know, I need to just enjoy what I've got. So let me get this started. So we had a play date, which was a lot of fun. When the pandemic, you know, I had to be pretty careful because of my mom's health issues. I don't know. I think I've said exactly what's wrong with my mom, but just in case I haven't. My mom's main health issue is she has congestive heart failure. And my mom was born, well, there we go, pulled it right out. My mom was born with congenital heart disease. And she's had a lot of health problems since she was born, but they really started when I was a very young child. She had a heart attack when she was 29. So she has congenital heart disease. She had a heart attack when she was 29. this was in the 1980s, and, you know, medicine was not where it is now. So I was 4 when she had a heart attack. So I was pretty young, and my brother was 9. And she didn't know she was having a heart attack. She laid on the couch thinking she was sick, because, you know, the signs are different with a woman. She laid on the couch thinking she was sick, and they finally figured out what was going on. Well, anyway, she has congestive heart failure, and she has COPD and emphysema. She has degenerative disc disease. Goodness, she has so many things. She has glaucoma. She has bad kidneys. She's got a whole host of problems, but her main issue is her congestive heart failure, which is like a very slow, and it's like poison ivy. It just sort of like creeps in and just takes over everything. And honestly, I don't even know how I got off on talking about what was wrong with my mom. I can't remember. Oh, she is high risk for COVID. So during the height of the pandemic, before we all got vaccinated, you know, for pretty much 3/4 of the year of 2020 and the first part of 2021, I had to be really careful about who I was around, because I couldn't risk getting my mom sick. So we didn't socialize much at all, and it was really lonely. So even though I only have one child, when Parker was about, he was about 1, I'm trying to think. Yeah, he was about 1. Yeah. I started babysitting. So I babysat my best friend's daughter, who was a few years older than him, and I babysat my nephew. So I had the 3 of them, you know, during the week. Sometimes on the weekends I'd have my nephew. So he grew up with them kind of like siblings. And it was a lot of fun, because, you know, they were 4 and 5 years old, and he was 1. So he would watch what they did, and he would learn from them and everything. And it was sweet. They would like read to him and stuff like that. And I just was used to having kids in the house. Excuse me. So I babysat until I babysat them, and I babysat a couple other kids off and on. But I never had more than 2 kids that I babysat, because, I mean, maybe occasionally I would have a 3rd kid if it was like a play date or something. But, you know, that was the maximum, because they had to fit in the back seat of my car. So I could only fit 3 kids in the back seat of my car, you know, with car seats and booster seats and all that. So a lot of people would want me to babysit, but I wouldn't do it, which you can only babysit so many people, like, within the law before, you know, you have to have a daycare license. But I would just babysit to where I could travel with them, because, for one, in case of emergency, I have to make sure they can all get in the car, and for 2, we would go to the park and stuff, so I had to be able to take it with me. So anyway, the point of my story is, we were used to having kids around the house, and I was used to having kids around the house. And those kids, as Parker got older, you know, those kids got a little older, and then I started babysitting another best friend's kids. And if I wasn't babysitting them, we would just have play dates or whatever, like all-day play dates. So my house, I was used to having kids. I always had, like, my house set up to have kids over. And so during the pandemic, there were no kids. It was really lonely. And also, when Parker was in public school, I was a substitute teacher, which I loved. So I would drop him off at school, and then I would go substitute teach at one of the other schools or his school. Generally, I didn't sub at his school, because I prefer to sub older kids. Middle school was my favorite age to be a substitute for, which was the most people's least favorite. But the middle school kids were just so much fun to talk to, and they still had, at least where I subbed in our school district, they still had enough fear in them that they would do what they were supposed to do, but they were independent enough that they were a lot of fun to hang out with. And you know, the elementary kids, they I don't know, but I guess because I was already around like younger kids all the time, it was just a fun break for me to sub middle school, and then I would do high school too. But I would occasionally do the younger kids. It just wasn't my first choice. If a middle school job came open, I would accept that job so fast. It'd be like flames burning from my fingers because it was my favorite. So that was one thing that changed when we started homeschooling, is I couldn't be a substitute teacher anymore because I was at home teaching. So, but I really enjoyed it. The plan was for me to eventually become a full-time either teacher's assistant or something like that within the district. That's what the district was kind of waiting for, something to open up to hire me full-time, but you know, that didn't work out. But I really enjoyed my time doing that. So it's been really quiet around our house because of the pandemic, and now that, you know, things are opening up and safer, we're starting to try to get back into our play dates, and it was fun. I had my friend's boys over on Thursday, and they played all day, and it was fun. It was like the old days of having kids in the house again. Now, they keep me on my toes. Believe me, they keep me on my toes. But I'm sorry, I haven't even been paying attention to the screen to see if y'all can see this. Which, I know you're probably just doing your own stitching. You're not watching me stitch. But still, it would be kind of awkward to look up and see nothing but a pillow. So, we did that Thursday, and those kids wore me out. I just rested on Friday. I was tired. Oh, yes. 41 years old, exhausted. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. My mother-in-law, she got Parker a virtual reality headset, a VR, for Christmas last year. So they played with that a lot, and I'm telling you what, that thing is fun. That thing is so fun. Parker recently got a game called Beat Saber. Even I love that game. But there's so much you can do on a VR headset. They're amazing. So, of course, they all wanted to do it all the time. I had to be like, listen, first of all, you can't do this all day because it's not good for your eyes and your brain. But then you all gotta take turns. And of course, every time it was time to change turns, they were like, oh, he got it longer than me. So I started timing it. Yeah, you gotta time stuff. Tell them they each get 10 minutes so they don't argue. But the sad thing is we're just starting to get back into hanging out and doing our play dates and stuff. And public school is starting next week. So they're gonna be busy. It's really hard to get together when their public school is in. It makes me so sad because our district is going to a year-round, what they call a year-round schedule. So instead of starting at the end of August, they're starting next week because they're going to go like, I don't know if it's 6 or 8 weeks, and then they take 2 weeks off, and then they go another term like that, then they take 2 weeks off, and it's supposed to be good for the retention. So, but because this is the first year they're doing it, it's cut into summer break. So yeah, that's going to be very different for the kids, and I feel bad because I guess they're going to have to do recess early because it's so hot here in July and August. It is so hot. We don't even go to the park because the playground equipment, definitely in August we don't go to the park. The playground equipment gets so hot they can't even play on it. So, yeah, it's going to be different for the kids. I'm curious to see how it goes. I have considered starting early. I haven't decided completely. I guess we're just going to see how bored we get. Because if we do start early, that's less review we have to do. So, I don't know. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. I was, this morning I was washing some dishes, and I used Dawn dishwashing liquid, and I was thinking about it, because in my head, my husband had moved it to another part of the house because he was using it to clean something, and I thought, where's the liquid Dawn? And it's so funny because, you know, when, especially I think in the South, we have names for things that aren't real. And I have always called it Liquid Dawn. My mom always called it Liquid Dawn, which is why I call it Liquid Dawn. And that's not what it's called. It's called Dawn dishwashing liquid, or just Dawn. But I grew up thinking it was called Liquid Dawn. Like, opposed to what? Solid Dawn? Like, I don't know where that came from. But, yeah, Liquid Dawn. There's probably so many things that I say like that every day that I don't think about. My husband will make fun of my accent sometimes. I'm like, what are you talking about? You got a South Carolina accent. One of the things he said that I never heard before when we started dating, and I made fun of him, I still make fun of him for it, is he says, well, darn. And I'm like, darn. I have never heard anybody say darn in my life. It's like D-E-R-N, I guess, instead of darn. Well, darn. Instead of daddy, like if he's talking about his dad, he'll say, diddy. Diddy. Oh. Well, y'all already know I did the Stitch With Me video. So I posted that, so thank you to all the positive comments I got on that, because it was really, I was nervous to do that because, you know, I'd never done anything like that before, and I didn't know if I would be able to explain it, and, so I hope that anybody who wants to try it will try it, and, you know, stitching in hand is not for everybody, and you shouldn't feel like you need to change what you do to suit somebody else. I mean, you see people in floss tube stitching in hand and you feel like, oh, I should be doing that. No, you do what makes you happy. If you want to use a hoop and a Q-snap, use a hoop and a Q-snap. If you want to stitch in hand, stitch in hand. I mean, you do what you want to do. Cross stitch shouldn't be about just feeling like you gotta do something just because everybody else is doing it. It should be something you enjoy. So if you enjoy using a hoop, like, there's certain projects I need to use a hoop because I'm going to absolutely be miserable and not do it if I don't have a hoop, like my 40 count. I am not, at this point, I am not going to stitch in hand on a 40 count because I can't really count that well if I'm stitching in hand with it. I can't see the holes that well. It's just like stitching on black. I like stitching on black. Now, that's black Ada. I don't know that I've ever tried black even weave. So I don't know how I would feel about that. But I love stitching on black. There are times when I need to put something white in my lap, like a pillow or something. But generally, I'm fine stitching on it. But some people don't like it, and you know, you shouldn't do it if you don't like it. You do what makes you happy, because that's what having hobbies is all about. Yeah, there's certain fabrics I don't like, so I'm not going to go make a quilt out of fabric that I don't like. I'm just not going to do it. Why put all that time and energy into something you don't enjoy? So, that's why it's a hobby. I just pulled that out. I swear, I remember seeing that Brenda Gervais was designing a pattern that was kind of like a a follow-up to this, a follow-up to Winter Rose Manor. But I never saw anything else about it, so I didn't know if it was going to be like a different season instead of winter, if it was going to be like spring, fall, summer, if it was going to be the same house or a different house. I don't know. So if y'all know anything about that, leave it in the comments. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Sorry, I gotta put a shadow up here so I can see. 20 minutes. Not bad, not bad. But we're gonna try to go to the splash pad this week before my friends' kids go back to school. We couldn't go last week because there was a festival down there and they had kind of shut it off. I mean, they had like blocked all that off and everything, so hopefully we'll make it this week. Take the kids down there. Stormy's doing so good. She's very playful now, and she's cracking me up. She's so much fun. Kiki's doing a little bit better with Stormy. She's not getting quite as upset, and they even laid in the bed at the same time and nobody freaked out. I mean, Stormy doesn't care. Stormy wants to go up to Kiki and snuggle with her, but Kiki's like, "Argh." So, as far as Jolly July, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of Jolly July. I picked all these projects out. I was ready to go. I had whips and new starts, but to be honest, I haven't been in the mood. The normal temperature in my house is 80 degrees, and I just haven't been in the mood to do Christmas stitching. I don't know. When I have, I've done it, but generally I have been working on this project. I have been working on my stitching with the housewives, trucking along in calendar crates. I haven't got a ton done on those, but yesterday I put together a Lego set for my husband. I love Legos. I love them. And he had bought a kind of a big Lego set to resell, and he was pretty sure all the pieces were there, but we still, whenever he sells a Lego set, we still put it together so that just in case there's something missing, we know about it, so we can let the customers know. So I put together that Lego set, and that was a lot of fun. I love Legos. Uh-oh, I almost forgot was going to stitch there to leave my tree branch. Parker has a birthday coming up. At the beginning of August, he'll be 11 years old. And he is excited about his birthday. He's asked for 10,000 things for his birthday. He's very hard to buy for because he'll ask for so much stuff, and he'll make up his mind like the day before his birthday and be like, okay, this is what I want. So if I've already gotten something else, I'm like, what? You told me you wanted something. He does the same thing for Christmas. He asks for so many different things, and then he thinks like, you know, whatever he asked for, like on December 23rd, is what should be under the tree. And I'm like, buddy, Santa needs a little extra time. Santa can't be working last minute like that. So anyway, he's very excited about his birthday. Last year, we had the past few years, what we've done is like a play date birthday. And we've had friends over, and basically they just play all day, and then we have cake, ice cream, pizza, whatever. And then last year he had a sleepover, so I had my friend's 2 little boys and his cousin over, and they had a sleepover. They played video games and they watched a movie and all that stuff. And so I asked him this year, I said, do you want to have a sleepover? And he says he does. So the only thing is, his best friend's birthday is really close to his. So sometimes they have their own birthday plans going on, and this year they're going out of town, so he may not be able to have his sleepover on his birthday. It might be around his birthday, but I think that's what we're going to do is have another sleepover. If not, we might just have a regular party. And just, you know, have a pizza party or whatever. Now, I can't believe he's going to be 11. Cannot believe it. He's had insomnia, which means I've had insomnia. It's been rough. It has been rough. It's like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So, it leaves me like pretty tired. It's just something, you know, part of his ADHD and autism. Sometimes he gets insomnia, and he used to take, for years, he took melatonin, but he has bad dreams with melatonin, and I've recently stopped giving it to him because he doesn't want the bad dreams, of course. So, but with that means he's having a harder time falling asleep. So, I don't know. It's hard for his little brain to get shut off because he's constantly thinking about whatever. Usually a video game or something. And he obsesses about it. So, it's hard for him to go to sleep unless he's just absolutely exhausted. He has to be completely worn out. So, last night was it wasn't too bad last night. He was up maybe an hour and a half or something later. The night before, he was up till about 5:30. So, and there's no like, oh, just lay in your bed till you fall asleep. He's like, Mommy, what time is it? What time is it? I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I need to get to the bathroom. What time is it? Like, literally all night long. So, yep. I'm getting so close to getting this done. Alright. I'm sorry I scratched my nose. 27 minutes. It seems to be like the sweet spot for me. 27 minutes. Okay, guys. I hope my rambling was okay this morning. I'm going to pick this out. I got a little knot. I have to say, this chart uses all 3 of the major overdyed threads. Classic Colorworks, Week Styleworks, and Gentle Arts. And the one that I have had the most trouble with is Gentle Arts. It has knotted on me. Like, these reds are Gentle Arts. And I've had a lot of trouble with those knotting. The one I have the least amount of trouble with is Classic Colorworks. So Classic Colorworks is the easiest for me to stitch with, then Weeks, Dyeworks, and then Gentle Arts. So, now, Color and Cotton, which is not used on this project, but I love using Color and Cotton. I don't know what they do to their thread, but it is so nice to stitch with. I really, really like it. So if you have a brand of overdyed threads that is different than the 3 main ones that you enjoy stitching with, let me know. I'd like to try some new threads. So, I hope you guys have a great Monday. I may try to do a wet parade this week as an extra. We'll see. But I will hopefully catch up with you guys on Wednesday. And that's it. So, bye guys.